you mentioned briefly Jon Jones earlier because UFC 200, that didn't work out for him. And just quickly, I know we're jumping all over the place. Before we get back to this card, it just sort of got me thinking a little bit. We've had some more Jon Jones breaking news just a couple of days ago. He has a new recent situation as police were involved after a drug test official felt threatened when Jones allegedly took her phone during a visit to his home. Jones claimed he was drinking while celebrating a friend's birthday and that everything ended amicably. And he showed a video of him giving her a high five, which is available on his Instagram. Gotta ask, man, like as you sort of mentioned Jon Jones earlier, what do you make of this thing, and how does it sort of fall into this whole evolving Jon Jones, I guess, legacy where we don't know when he'll be back, but things just keep sort of stacking up in the wrong direction as it goes along more and more?
This is the basic take, I think, from this. Remember something. Jon has responded to a degree. He put out a very short snippet of a video on his Instagram page. He put out a message along with it, accusing the doping control officer, the DCO in this particular case, of being unprofessional, and that everything ended ultimately amicably. We don't actually have a full set of facts. We don't have enough evidence to pour over to really exactly know what the full story is. But just break it down piece by piece. Jon Jones having issues with anti-doping authorities, again, alleged in this incident. That's something that we know he's had in the past. Jon Jones drinking in the middle of the afternoon. I don't think by itself is a big deal, but recall that he has had many issues related to substance abuse, to say nothing of the September 2021 arrest when he was banging his head on the front of a cop car, and or folks forget about this. He was arrested during the pandemic for shooting off guns in downtown Albuquerque, and he had a bottle of Recuerdo in his vehicle at the time, so that matches up to something he's done previously. Having issues with anti-doping authorities and law enforcement, you can all see, again, that's alleged in this case, but we know for a fact he's had that in the past. He is alleged to have threatened a woman here. Don't know if that's a fact, but we know there was an incident, again, going back to September 2021 with his then fiance in a Vegas hotel room where she was reportedly having blood on her face, and apparently, again, according to reports that came out at that time, that he had potentially struck her. So it's like, we don't know exactly what the facts are, but all of them match scenarios that we do know have happened in a previous extent at a previous time in his career. And it's like, guys, I'll just speak personally about this. I'm the last guy on earth who can really ever criticize anyone else for drinking. I did a lot of drinking in my life, a lot of it. Like, I mean, I make a joke about it, but I did it to a degree that was really unhealthy. I've had incidents. I've never had law enforcement trouble, but I've personal health problems or, any of the other complications that come with substance abuse. I've had them. I've had them all. But like, dude, if you're now closer to 40 than you are 30, and you're still in the middle of that, catastrophe is coming. I just don't know how else to tell you that. Like, any number of ways in which you don't manage risk properly at any age, 18, 30, 50 to 70, it doesn't matter, right? So it can affect you in every kind of way. But what I can tell you is the problems and how difficult they are to account for and solve for when you start to get to 40, it becomes much, much more difficult, even if you do have significant financial or legal resources to protect you. Obviously, that makes a difference as well. But if nothing changes, at some point, catastrophe is inevitable. I really hope that doesn't happen for his sake and for his family's sake. I truly mean that. I mean, I find him to be not a very sympathetic character, but I don't wish trauma on anybody. But it just seems like there's like, if what has happened in a microcosm mirrors everything that has happened before, doesn't really give you a sense that there's anything really fundamentally changing about his condition other than age. And if that's the case, it doesn't look great for any kind of promising future, but I guess we shall see.
Yeah, it's a tough one because, like, when you think about the situation with his wife, he spoke about how, like, his brain and body can't handle alcohol anymore, and he's going to stop and he's going to change himself, and this is going to be the best thing that happened to him. And then it keeps sort of repeating itself. And like you, look, I like to have fun. I like to party as well. So, like, and if he's celebrating a person's birthday, it's not an issue in any way whatsoever. It's more the fact that there's been constant promises and things keep happening. And then there's the dash cam footage from however long ago where, Jon Jones was arrested and banging his head. And it's like, you can see the roller coaster of emotions that seems to happen in any of those situations. And then there was, what was the other one? There was one who was heckling the comedian. I think around the time
I forgot about that.
Yes. And that was like a sad video to watch, because you can see again like all that roller coaster of emotions. You suck, no, you're great. No, you suck, no, I love you, etc., etc. So I don't know. Like you mentioned, we don't have the facts. We don't know what really happened. We don't know if this was something legit or if it was just, a Karen complaining. We have no idea. I don't think it's going to affect anything anyway. I think we'll be excited for Jon Jones' return in however many months against Stipe Miocic.
Yeah, you used to get drunk and steal sandwiches from Walmart, so I don't know what you're talking about. You're a fun person to be around.
Listen.
And by the way, when we come back to America, I hope you get drunk again, because I'm hungry, man. I like those sandwiches.
Yeah. Well, I've turned into the hangovers now have just become like, it's hard to overstate how bad they are at age 44. But like, here's the thing, like heckling comedians, I've never done that, but I've done like, obnoxious public a-hole behavior when I've been drunk. It's just, at 36, it's like, dude, you're too old to be doing this. You have way too much to lose to be doing this. So it's not like I can say, oh, I've done so much better. I've not. But like, I remember around 37, 38, I began to get I never had as much to lose again as him. But like, dude, I can't believe how much I drank and never had a law enforcement issue. Imagine how many times he's had a law enforcement issue and or some kind of doping control issue, and it ends up in some kind of like very unusual, very negative place. It's like, dude, if you're doing that much worse and I did that much drinking, so something has to be going very wrong on the calculus and execution side of whatever it is he's doing with his life, because that like this routine level of issue, it only happens when someone is just not managing their affairs properly. But again, to the specificities of this situation, there's still a lot to learn.